Hi there, it's April the 1st and we're continuing our journey in Torah today through the words of Deuteronomy, and we're doing today chapters 18, 19 and 20. Chapter 18 starts off with a reminder that the Levites will not have a share in the inheritance with the others in the land because they are given over to God. However, they will eat and they will be provided for by God because they are special people to Him. Now, further on, there's a warning not to get involved in the pagan practices of the land, and particularly not to get involved in necromancy, consulting the dead, wizardry, astrology, and so on, because these things take away from the fact that God is the one who is over all. He is the king over all, not stars, not spirits, not the dead. God is the one who is king. However, there is at the end of chapter 18 a promise that a prophet will arise. In chapter 18 and verse 18, a prophet will arise who will be like Moses, and he will need to be listened to. It's most important that this prophet who arises will be the one who brings God's great word to the people, and other prophets can be ignored. If prophets are not seeing their words coming to pass, then they can be ignored, and there's no need to have any fear of them. Then in chapter 19, there's a rehearsal of the fact that there will be 6 cities of refuge in Israel for the one who is guilty of manslaughter but not murder, so that people who have accidentally killed people can be put into a place of safety, can find a place of safety in 6 cities of refuge, 3 east of the Jordan and 3 west of the Jordan. And they are going to have to, if there is a murder involved, they're going to have to find witnesses to that death, because a fact can only be established in the mouth of 2 witnesses. It's not enough to have one witness's testimony. The fact has to be established in the mouth of 2 witnesses. And then lastly, in chapter 20, there are the orders for battle, the orders for what happens when Israel will go into war. And particularly, the priest is to come forward and say, your God is going to fight for you, but if there's anyone here who's just planted a new field or a new vineyard, who has married a new wife, or even someone who is just fearful, then let them go home and not fight with us, because the people they want are the wholehearted people who are going into battle in the name of the Lord. Now we also see that there's to be a wholesale destruction of the people of the land, because God says it's because of their having dabbled in the things that He forbids in chapter 19, because they've dabbled in necromancy and astrology and wizardry and consulting the dead. The judgment is that they will be completely wiped out, taken out from the land, and God encourages Israel not to get involved in any of the stuff that they've been doing. It also says don't destroy a marker in these chapters. Don't destroy a marker that someone's put down. Don't take away their boundary. And it's important that we recognize that God respects property, respects boundaries, and we are not to tread over the boundaries. This word about a prophet that will arise in Israel, for us as believers in Jesus, points to the coming Messiah, the one who himself speaks the words of life, and who brings us not just out of Egypt, not just out of the power of Pharaoh, but from under the power of death itself. This is the prophet that Deuteronomy is looking forward to. Have a very good April the 1st.